Hi, hope all is well. I'm going to do a video breakdown on this GBPUSD buy. This is a really, really nice trade, so I'm just going to break it down. So before I had the idea that the dollar was going to kind of push down a bit in a few of the videos. I think it was even the last video. I said that I wanted to see dollar push down into some discount before coming back into premium. So really and truly, when we're looking at our high time frame highs, you can see that this is our premium, this is our discount. So I was basically waiting nothing more for a push back down and then a continuation back up and then see if we can come take out this wick. So I already had the idea and bias of dollar come down anyway. We did go into this morning, kind of had this run going into London. We had quite a big run and then we just pretty much sold off. So going into GU, so we take everything off quick. After going in on the 4 hour, we came up, we've got our lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then we come up, create a higher high. So when price had already created this higher high, I was already expecting price to come back down and then kind of continue from this point. Now, if we just put the drawings on, so we had some supply here that was invalidated, and you can see we actually broke structures and caused like we closed above it. And then I was really looking for, again, like I said before, price to kind of come down and then continue a bit higher. So I was looking for this daily down move to actually get mitigated, which is actually what we got yesterday. But you can see this is our sell to buy movement. We had some lows in here that got raided, and then price actually started coming up and pushing up higher. So how did we actually kind of get into this? So actually looking at it, this is actually really, really nice distribution. That price had actually left. There were some sells in here of a 10-minute supply zone. We came in, took the highs, broke structures here, come up, mitigate. We come back down, and I was only trading into this first 4 hourly imbalance. So you can see this 4 hourly imbalance, we actually closed out really, really, really nice. And then from there, price kind of just consolidated, moved. We did actually have some tests of this supply. But for me, this was actually creating a lot of liquidity. To the top side, you can see this line. This is my liquidity. So I was kind of just waiting for price to see if it was really going to take out this high. Going in here, we didn't. There was a really nice test of a 1 minute. Price came down. We come back up again. We actually came into a 12-hour and then got some sells in here, which is really nice. This trade actually was closed here, like these. So this is really nice. So my first target was that daily, the high time frame daily, and you can see price come up, and then we come back down, and I just had these targets then as all of my targets. So we can just go into these really quick. So price had actually tested off a 12-hour, I believe it was. Was it a 12-hour? Let's have a look. Where are we? So let's go back. Oh, I think it was just this hourly that I was looking to trade off, to be fair. No, it wasn't, I swear. I can't find what it was off. Anyway, long story short, there was a fill of a high time frame fill that I was looking for in this area, and we actually got that fill. Was it on the 6 hour maybe? No, okay. I'm not going to go into it now, but there was really nice sell-off in here, and then there was actually an imbalance fill, high time frame imbalance fill, which I was actually looking for up in this level in here. When price actually did manage to get back to it, I said, okay, cool. I'm going to wait and see if price is actually really going to continue. So it was actually in around this level. It's really annoying that I can't find it, but it doesn't matter. But basically, long story short, this imbalance lined up with all of this in here. And I was basically looking for just a break structure a little bit lower because I noticed that we still had these lows left. So price, as you can see, we started actually breaking down a little bit lower. I thought, okay, cool. And we're going to wait to see if we get a reaction of this. You can see we had a reaction. Then price actually started coming down, started shifting momentum. And then we had a small raid of liquidity just at the top side with with this small wick here. Price come down, we broke structures, and then I was looking for a test of this candle. You can see we came in, tested, and then we just really continued back down. And then for this trade, there was a really, really nice demand zone. We followed that along. You can see there was new supply that was created in this demand. Price broke lower, looking for a pullback and test of this region. I did actually just use the whole area, but there was a pullback, 4.6 pips, and then continuation. So overall, we had 67 pips, 60. So let's go back. So we had 68 plus 40, 68 plus 40 plus 27, 68 plus 40 plus 27. So 135 pips all in all, just within a 5-hour span. So that was quite nice to see. But finishing from that, you can see that after we had this test of this daily zone, which happened yesterday, this is kind of when the mitigations and everything kind of played off. So you can see we had a really nice test, then price actually just really continued and pushed a bit higher. And from that, we generated some liquidity in and around this high time frame supply zone. And there was just more liquidity resting that was still need to be met. So I said, okay, cool. If price is going to give me some sort of reactions like it did, I believe we came down right into a 5-minute zone in here. Once we had that test of that 5-minute zone, you can see price kind of pushed an impulse a little bit higher, and we did actually just generate a single wick, which was actually one of my first targets. And I said, okay, cool, if price is going to break that, we could actually run a lot higher. So high time frame, I was already bearish, and I was already bullish anyway. And then it was just a simple case of now we'd had a break structure, prices come down, literally came in and mitigated right into this small 1-minute move in here. I think it was on a 2-minute actually. A 3-minute. No, it was on a 1-minute. Okay, cool. So we came down all the way into this last down move, and then we continued. And this for me there was no order that I'd placed or anything. When price had actually come back down here, we generated some more highs in here, a lot of imbalance a little bit higher up. So we had our liquidation, which was this candle here. And then you can see price came up, we broke structure. So now I was just pretty much waiting for just a little bit of a pullback within this whole candle. This is our test. And then we really just kind of continued from this point. So I'd got in on the bias and basis of this candle because this is the one that actually manipulated. But you can see as well, we actually did come in all the way a little bit lower. Just tested it super clean. I'll just delete this one for a moment. You can see we just came into that last teeny tiny order, and then we had that move. So I did an instant execution on this, and as soon as I was looking at the price actually down here, it was after we had this kind of impulsive move and price come back down. I literally just placed it just to kind of go for it. But me going for it, there was actually valid reasons for this point. So you can see we can even go all the way back down in here. There was an imbalance fill. There was an imbalance fill that happened here, right here, and price continued higher. And then you can see we had this last move. Take that across. So again, you can see following this whole mitigation trail. There we go. And in the bias of that, you can see we've swept lows, came in, break a structure here, price comes down, we mitigated into that zone that kind of caused that bigger move. And then you can see we pumped and manipulated higher. Price come down, we filled inefficiencies. I wanted to see if I could get one more test of this area. You can see we actually then got a really nice test of this area, and then price actually really just kind of continued up a lot higher. But for me, this whole move and region is basically just an accumulation that is playing out. So you can see we were manipulating lows, we were actually mitigating out of things. And it was kind of just the impulse out of this daily mitigation, which I'd actually expecting for, was then being able to give me the opportunity to actually continue a little bit higher. Now, if we do actually start breaking above this point, but for me, price has already kind of impulsed a lot, and it's kind of given me incentive bullish movement. So I would kind of now be looking for price to ultimately come back down and fill this news. So all of this was news that came out. We got a lot of inefficiency, waiting for price to come back down, potentially into areas like so, and then actually continue from this point and actually start potentially taking out these highs. Because if we're looking on the high time frame, this was our 30-minute candle, which kind of caused this big impulsive move. So any kind of move back down into this whole zone is something I'm going to be looking for then future continuations. And like I said, I was already bullish on this because we've gone like our low, lower high, lower low, break structure, higher high, and price actually just wicked into premium. So yeah, you can see price has just wicked into premium within this point. So in here, this is our premium point. Price literally just wicked into premium, and then we actually started getting that push move up. So I could potentially start seeing some daily retracements, to be honest. I do want to see a close, a break and above of this daily high first, but I do think we could kind of come up to potentially come back down again. But I'm going to wait and see what does happen with that. AU wasn't really too much opportunities, to be honest with you. Could have tried to get in somewhere in here, but to be honest, that would have been a bit risky. We did actually have a bit of a sweep of liquidity in here. There was a small trade that I took off of this in here because this was the supply, which was this is the demand that was kind of holding at this point. This is our London high. You can see just generating more liquidity. So we had demand generating more liquidity. I literally had like the smallest trade in here, just to kind of see what happened, and that was quite nice to see because that came out rather nice. And my target was actually just up into this 4-hour close, into this 4-hour high point. So my target did actually get met on this one as well. But again, just going to be looking for basic pullbacks and then continues to take out these wicks. So I hope this video has actually helped. I hope you guys have had a good week. I hope you're trading with your plan. For me, I'm not going to be trading now until next week, potentially next Tuesday. But I am going to see what happens with then. So if you guys have enjoyed this, please let me know. It's amazing to know. And if you guys want me to do any videos on other pairs, please let me know as well. All right, guys. Thank you.